What's going on, guys? Josh Pitka here. There is something about an obedient heart before God. There is nothing as powerful as a human heart that says, God, whatever you're saying, that's what I'm going to do. Whatever you speak to me, no matter how out there it is. I mean, obviously it's in line with this word, but there's nothing more powerful on this planet than a man or a woman who says, Father, whatever you want to do in me, whatever you want to do through me. The ministry of Jesus, inarguably, I mean, some people might argue it, but the most powerful human being, and he's God in the flesh, but he's born of a virgin, the God man, fully God. But his ministry, Jesus said, I only do the things that I see my Father doing. I only say the things that I hear my Father saying. And so he lived a life of total obedience, total submission. And that was his ministry. The ministry of Jesus was, healing the sick, raising the dead, casting out demons, cleansing the lepers. And that's what the Father is up to. And it was a ministry of total obedience. What would happen in and through your life if you got radically obedient to God's voice? Like, whatever you say, God, that's what I'm going to do. Whatever you're speaking to me, that's what I'm going to do. My heart is totally yours, full surrender. And so that's what I want to do, man. I want to live a life of total surrender. I want to live a life of total just God, whatever you're saying, man, that's what I'm going to do. And I want to know you more, and I want to just drink in your presence and your glory and your truth and your goodness. And then if you speak to me nothing, then that's fine. But if you say something to me, that's what I'm going to do. And I think that people, life gets really boring quick when you're not in God's will. I mean, I totally understand why sinners sin. I get it, man. I've been there. And they do it because they don't know God. And whether they are refusing to know God or whether they've just never been introduced to him before, they don't know him. And as so many believers, even like they believe in God, but they don't know him. It's not about, going to church or just doing the thing. It's about knowing him. I want to know him more. I mean, that's what, when you read through this book, the people that knew God did great exploits. The people that knew God, their life made sense, whether they were rich or poor, whether they were a man or woman, whatever their circumstance in life was socioeconomically, status wise, whatever, wherever they were born in the world, when they sought God, great things happened. And so, sometimes not great even in the natural, but great in the spirit, great in the eyes of God. And I mean, that's what matters, man. And so I want to encourage you, full surrender. There's nothing more valuable in my opinion than a man or a woman who's given their life. And the thing about that is, like, you're not going to do it perfectly. I think that the moment you do that, it's like the enemy rides in and says, well, you suck. And sometimes you just got to agree with them. Like, yeah, that's true. I do suck a lot, but I suck, but I'm his. I just belong to Jesus, man. I'm just totally his. And so he could take my suckingness and he could turn it into triumph. I mean, that's what he does. He just takes little broken vessels and he just turns them into masterpieces. It's like he's the potter. He takes a lump of clay, he takes dust and forms a man. I mean, he takes a rib and forms a woman. I mean, he takes chaos and forms creation. and the power of his word. I mean, that's what he does. And so if your life right now, wherever you're at, man, if you feel like, man, my life is just crazy, or maybe you think it's pretty good, I mean, whatever, give it to him. Give him the pieces. I mean, I'm reminded of, Jesus feeding the 4,000 men and women and children, and then he fed another time he fed 5,000 men and women and children. So 15,000 people, 20,000 people, however large the crowd was. And he's asked the disciples, like, what do you have? And they're like, we don't have anything. Like, he's like, feed these people. And then a little boy comes at one point and says, I've got, a couple fish and a couple loaves. And he blesses it and breaks it. And he feeds the multitudes. And it's like, that's what he does. He takes the little bit that you give him and he multiplies it to feed masses. And so you might think, Lord, maybe God gave you a dream and you're thinking, God, how could you ever do that in my life? How could you ever accomplish that? I'm so insignificant. I'm just so weak. I don't have anything. I don't have much. And God's like, if you will give me the little bit that you have, if you will give me the little bit of obedience that you can muster, I'll begin to multiply it. And your little bit becomes, in the hands of God, it becomes enough. It becomes more than enough to do exactly what he has said he will do. And so I just want to encourage you, man, these promises are real. Check out Psalm chapter 1 for starters. I mean, I'm not going to go there because I just want to keep this short tonight. It's Friday night. I'm going to hang out with my wife tonight, and just I'm doing these videos every day. But Psalm chapter 1, there's some homework for you. I mean, meditate in His Word day and night, and you will be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, and you're going to bear fruit in and out of season. So, hey, there's nothing more valuable than a heart that's fully His. I want to encourage you, give your heart totally to God, give Him everything. And just as a posture of surrender, God, I surrender all to you. Love you guys so much. Happy Friday or whatever day it is for you. And we will see you guys soon. Cheers.